Clowney news.
Yep. Listen, so the Ravens tried, and the Saints as well, tried to invent a sign and trade for the NFL, essentially having someone else sign a player for you because you don't have the cap space and you give them draft pick compensation. This is something the NFL should immediately start allowing next year. It would allow contending teams to stay contending longer by trading away draft picks to rebuilding teams that want to get younger and get better. It would, to me, it would emphasize great front offices. It would have fewer players losing key members of the roster, and you'd get to find out even more so who the best GMs are. Guys like in Baltimore and in Kansas City, be huge advantage. In Houston, I assume Bill O'Brien would trade the rights to Reliance Stadium for like a 7th-round pick. It'd be a ton of fun. It'd be great for the league. I think the NFL should allow it.
No way.
All right, Brandon, Michael Porter Jr.'s poster.
Oh my goodness, this got me out of my seat. But you know what was the coolest moment was his dad's reaction. Can we get that again? This is going to be me at my son's games. I already do it at my nephew's games. You know that everybody's watching you when your kid does something good and bad. And look at his dad just trying to be cool. Like, yeah, that's my boy. I love it. I love the dunk, but I love Mr. Porter Sr.'s reaction better.
Kevin, an epic outlet pass from Jokic.
Yes, so famed water polo player and basketball writer Zach Lowe called this the water polo pass, which obviously the Joker also played water polo in Serbia. So it's an interesting note about sports specialization and how kids are coming up. The fact that you never see this pass is because, no, we don't play water polo outside of Zach Lowe. I don't know anyone that ever played water polo. Joker did, so he's making water polo type passes. So I think it's an interesting thing. Like, you want to be a great passer, start playing water polo.
I like it. But I love this. Last night, Kawhi Leonard using every inch of his middle finger to block this dunk attempt by Jamal Murray. Kawhi clearly load managing the other fingers and his hand by just using one last night. We sometimes poke fun at his bursts of intermittent energy during the regular season. But last night and in these playoff games, save for the middle of probably the second half, he has come and he has had a deep impact on these playoffs. So Kawhi's middle finger was my favorite of our four things first.
I saw what you did there.
All right, moving on.
Unbelievable blast.
Let us talk some Patriots. I'm highly influenced by Nick Wright. Sadly and not so sadly. Hey, we're just 5 days away from Cam's debut and thus the official beginning of a new era in Foxborough. So what are fair expectations for the post-Tom Brady Patriots? Well, Cam Newton joined WEEI to talk about how he and Bill Belichick have coexisted the last couple of weeks. Take a listen.
I think every type of stereotype that I had about Coach Belichick changed the day I talked to him. I wanted to know, is it real what they say about Belichick? Is it going to be I didn't know. And I think, honestly, been a match made in heaven for me, just knowing that, I'm at a place where everything is pulling in the same direction and everything is geared towards winning.
All right, Brandon, I'll start with you. What do you make of what Cam Newton had to say there?
Yeah, as shocking as it may seem, Nick, this may indeed be a match made in heaven. Look, there seems to be some type of synergy between player that lives on the edge, that plays on the edge, can toe the line at times, and then those no-nonsense disciplinarian coaches. We've seen this before in the past. We've seen this in New England between Bill and Randy Moss. We saw this going back in history with Bill Parcells and Lawrence Taylor. I had the opportunity to oh, my goodness, right? Like, you got to think about those stories that used to come out of those organizations, those locker rooms. This shouldn't be shocking to anyone. I had the opportunity to play for Bill Parcells. He brought me down to Miami, and it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. I think that these type of coaches respect players who work hard and also perform. And then also I had the opportunity to be brought in by Nick Saban, who I would throw in this category as well during my pre-draft visit in 2006. And I remember this guy never even meeting me before, just cursing me out for the first 30 minutes of our meeting. And I sat there and I laughed at him. And because I understood where he was coming from, he said, if I draft you and if you don't do exactly what I tell you to do, I will cut your ASS. And I respected him for that. And from that moment to the rest of our visit, it was just one of the greatest experiences I've ever had. So I think there's a lot to this, but I'm not shocked that Cam Newton, Bill Belichick is getting along this well. Now, Cam, if you don't perform, this is the type of coach that will trade you, that will sit you on the bench. So as long as you're performing and continue to work hard, he'll be fine here.
And I never understood, Brandon, the idea that these guys wouldn't get along. I mean, listen, one of the good things about sports is it has a unifying ability for guys who maybe in regular walks of life wouldn't cross each other's paths to find a commonality, which is the football field, and to see that, you know, despite the fact that one guy is 30 years older than the other, they grew up very differently, they have different life experiences, their families look different. Oh, we have a lot of similar personality traits. Or, oh, we value a lot of the same things.
Yep.
And Wilds, it made me think of two very specific all-time great players that Belichick clearly adores, and one he played with, or one played for him and one didn't. One was Randy Moss, who Brandon mentioned. It wasn't just that 18-1 season and the record-setting year. It was when Randy was going into the Hall of Fame. Who was on that stage off camera? Belichick and Kraft, and Belichick gave these glowing quotes about Randy as a person, about how much fun Randy was to be around, about how smart Randy was. And the other player it made me think of, Wilds, was a clip that I think really made an impression on you, was from the NFL 100, when Belichick almost falls out of his chair talking about a singular play Ed Reed made on Peyton Manning. Like, Belichick, you would have thought it was like the greatest moment of his life watching Ed Reed make this one play. And the reason I bring those up, Wilds, is because he clearly has a unique respect for guys with a unique skill set. Randy was great for a lot of reasons, but one of them is he's 6'5", was the fastest guy in the league, could jump higher than anybody in the league. Ed Reed had preternatural instincts that you could not teach. There's parts of Cam's game, Wilds, that are unique in NFL history to Cameron J. Newton. No other player has his combination of throwing ability with that size, that speed, and that strength. Doesn't mean he's the best quarterback ever, just means he's one of one. So it doesn't surprise me at all, Wilds, that Belichick and he would have a great relationship and that Belichick would be excited to work with him.
Yeah, in addition to sort of Cam's energy that he's bringing, I think that's what Belichick is also looking for, in addition to his skills. So there's another famous clip that I often put on and just watch like it's a hit song. It's when Randy goes and talks to Bill Belichick about having a Halloween party. And Bill Belichick's in his